Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea from author David Kadavi. It's this: for any kind of creative work, the real secret to getting things done isn't about managing your time, it's about managing your mind.
You know the feeling, right? Your calendar is just jammed, you're trying to do a million things at once, and you just feel drained. That's hustle culture. But what if this whole approach, this obsession with squeezing productivity out of every single second, is actually holding us back, especially when we need to be creative? Okay, so let's break down the core idea here. Traditional time management always asks, what can I do right now? And that's what leads to staring at a blank page when you just don't have the energy for it. Mind management, though, completely flips the script. It asks, what am I in the mood to do? It's all about matching the task to your actual mental state. So you're working with your brain, not fighting against it. So how did Kajabi figure this out? Well, it wasn't in some productivity workshop. It was actually born from a moment of complete and total creative failure. Let's get into the story. So picture this. David Kadavi, he scores this huge book deal. Amazing, right? But there's a big problem. He cannot write a single word. He has this massive deadline looming for the first quarter of his book, and he's just staring at a blank screen. So he did what any of us would do. He tried to time manage his way out of it. He completely cleared his schedule, no friends, no going out, no distractions at all. He basically created this perfect, uninterrupted fortress of time dedicated only to writing. And the result of all that perfect planning? Nothing. Absolute failure. Having more time didn't spark any creativity. It just cranked up the pressure and made the blank page feel even more intimidating. He was more stuck than he'd ever been. So at his wit's end, he does something that feels completely wrong. He runs away. He books a trip to Costa Rica, feeling super guilty about it, but he was just desperate for anything to work. And while he's there, still feeling totally frustrated, he steps outside and just has this simple, random chat with a local guy named Diego. They just talked about the beach, the weather, nothing life-changing, just a normal, easy human moment. And this is where it all clicked. David goes back to his room after that little conversation, and the words just poured out of him. He wrote an entire chapter in 1 hour. And that's when the light bulb went off. The problem was never about a lack of time. It was about not being in the right mental state. So how do we actually get into that right mental state? Well, Kadavi breaks it down into a process that's actually predictable. It turns out creativity isn't just some random bolt of lightning. It has stages. And here they are, the 4 stages. First, you prepare. You gather all your info, you brainstorm, then you incubate. This is the crucial part. You actually step away and let your subconscious do the heavy lifting. A perfect example, Paul McCartney literally dreamed the melody for the song yesterday. That was pure incubation. Then comes elimination. That's the aha moment when the idea just hits you. And finally, verification, which is where you take that idea and you refine it and bring it to life. Now, to help us navigate those 4 stages, we need the right tools. So Kadavi gives us this kind of menu of 7 different mental states. The whole game is to figure out which state you're in and then pick a task that actually fits it. What's so amazing about this list is that it gives you permission to work in different ways. Feeling curious but not really focused? Great, that's the explore state. It's perfect for just poking around and gathering ideas. Got a specific question you need an answer to? That's research. Ready to just sit down and crank out a first draft? That's generate. And what about when your brain feels like mush? Do some administrative tasks. And the most important one, feeling totally drained? That's the recharge state. And you know what? It's just as productive and necessary as all the others. Okay, so we've got the stages and we've got the states. Now let's talk about how to put all this together into a system that actually works for you. First up is this brilliant idea, the minimum creative dose. Think of this as your secret weapon against getting stuck. It's the absolute tiniest step you can possibly take. So if you're a writer, maybe it's just writing 1 single paragraph. That's it. It's an action so small that you have 0 excuse not to do it. Okay, this next one sounds a little counterintuitive, but it's a game changer. It's called the open loop. In creativity, this is actually a really powerful tool. By intentionally leaving a task just a little bit unfinished, like stopping right in the middle of a sentence at the end of the day, you keep that project active in your subconscious. Your brain keeps chewing on the problem even when you're not, which makes it so much easier to dive back in the next day. So here's the bottom line. Your creative system isn't some rigid schedule you have to follow. It's a flexible framework. It's all about using these small, consistent actions and these open loops to keep your momentum going, all while respecting your brain's natural energy cycles.
And this brings us to the final and, maybe the most important lesson from this whole approach, and that's the power of patience.
So let's just do a quick recap. 1. Stop managing your calendar and start managing your mental energy. 2. Remember that creativity is a process with 4 stages. It's not a single mad dash to the finish line. 3. Use those 7 mental states like a menu to match the right task to how you're actually feeling. And 4. Build your own system using those tiny, consistent actions to make progress feel almost effortless.
In a world that is completely obsessed with speed, mind management asks us to slow down and be patient, to trust the process. It's a huge reminder that great work isn't about doing more faster. It's about doing the right thing at the right time. So the question I want to leave you with isn't how can I be more productive? Instead, ask yourself, what is my mind ready for right now? The answer might really surprise you.